Oh, I know he went.
Me.
Yeah, he did me as well. He went through the essay chat and did a lot of people.
Yeah,
By the way, we're live.
numbers. Huh?
We went
Oh,
live
God.
just after Arch said.
Hello, everyone.
Beautiful. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We've got Arcanium here, or Arcanum even, because I can't
Arcanum.
pronounce your
Only
name.
one eye.
I know. I just. It's nonsense. It's nonsense, is what it is. Hello,
Sorry, no one ever
Arcanum.
says it right. Hello. No one ever says it right.
I
It's cool.
say it right, damn it.
Hello, okay.
Blue Shift has spent 2 years systematically trying to make everyone say it wrong. So
That explains a
Yeah, but
lot.
I don't listen to Blue Shift. I know better than that.
Has Blue Shift done you an XCOM yet, Arcanum?
I don't know. I haven't been on film fiction in about 2 years either.
Well, he's in a Skype chat, so yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough.
he's been running around doing that sort of thing.
But to be fair, you're not in the Skype chat much either, from what I hear.
Am I even in the Seattle's Angel Skype chat?
I don't know. I don't really know. Reminder to the people who are in the Skype chat, we will be taking questions. Also, if you are watching on and like have the thread open, post some questions there. We'll ask Arcanum, probably, if we remember. In the meantime,
Assuming
let's
we're not
get
just
CV.
faffing.
Yeah, in the meantime, let's cut down the faffing slightly, just to allow CV to talk about last week's reviews. Go on, CV.
Okay, well, I only actually did 2 of the last 4 reviews because I had some really terrible things happen to me in the last week and a half, so I won't elaborate on what those were, but my mind was not in the mindset to finish reading the other 2 stories. However, the 2 that I did get to were Nightwolf 289's Beep Boop, I Will Destroy You, which is just beyond cute, and there was also Orbiting Kettle's Harissa, and I'd just like to take a moment to point out how great Orbiting Kettle's name is, because it's a different way of saying Russell's teapot, which it's a pretty interesting theory if anyone wants to go and look it up.
It's less of a theory, more of a sort of logical conclusion based on certain assumptions.
Yeah.
And it's used to disprove arguments, which is equally interesting if you are a massive nerd, like we all are. So,
Yes.
so
Yeah,
tell us a
did
bit
you
about
watch,
these stories.
Germany powering up the nuclear fusion?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was.
Let's hear about these stories.
Yeah. Come on,
Okay,
Stevie.
well, Beep Boop, I Will Destroy You is basically about a little derpy, like very, very young derpy. She's about 4 or 5 years old. Her age is not specifically mentioned as much, but the way the narration is it comes from inside her mind, so it comes out sounding very childish. Sounds like how you might write a story for 5-year-olds to read while they're learning how to read. So she
it's a third-person story where the third-person voice is derpy. Is it?
Yes, as the
Right.
4 or 5 year old, however young she is, and she's obviously very small, very inexperienced with the world, apart from her own little world, and she lives in this large mansion. Her parents are never home. Presumably, they have a very high-paying job, or they're just otherwise missing. That's never really clarified. But there's the whole
Parents
that's
are
the whole point.
inconvenient to plot. Get rid of.
That's the whole point, that she spends most of her time alone at the house, and all she has is her toys and her books and her butler, who prefers to be named Sir Respectable Butler the Fourth, but she just calls him Butt.
Keep in mind, Dopey's parents are also extremely well off.
And she just calls him Butt in every sentence, and
Beautiful.
she's adorable. But at the same time, while this is adorable, she sets a very sort of tragic figure, because the way the narration comes out when she talks about the fact that her mummy and daddy aren't home, and that sometimes she misses them, and she gets bored of her toys very easily and moves from one thing to the next. Like, she'll be playing with her blocks, and then she knocks down her blocks after building a tower, and she's like, "Okay, Bart, I'm bored. Get my other toys." And he'll run off and grab her dolls, grab her books, grab her other things. So it's a really interesting take on a young fandom favorite, and you need to sort of read between the lines with this one to understand just how deep it actually goes, because it's not just a cutesy story. It's all about setting up this character who has a lot of personal misgivings, but doesn't quite know how to express herself yet. She's not old enough to know how to do that. So her and the butler go out on a shopping trip because this is another thing. She opens up a wardrobe. She has like 350 different outfits in there, and she's like, "But I've got nothing to wear." The butler's like, "But Miss Hooves, you have an entire bedroom and walk-in wardrobe full of outfits. What's wrong with these?" And she's like, "I've already worn them. I can't wear them again. I need new ones. Let's go shopping." Right, let's go shopping. Oh,
So
make me
she's a
some
proper
muffins.
Society doll.
Make me some muffins. I want more muffins.
Of course you do.
God, and the butler, he makes them a bunch of muffins for breakfast, and she just eats them all, and he goes hungry, but he puts up with it because he is the dutiful, respectable butler that he is. So that's kind of great. So they go out shopping, and Derpy actually sort of wanders away from the butler when he gets distracted by a store attendant who happens to have a crush on him. So they get talking. She's trying to come on to him. He's sort of like, "Oh, I don't know. This isn't really proper." And in the meantime, Derpy's just off you, just wherever. She doesn't care. She's just exploring Cloudsdale, having fun. But the weather changes. She accidentally steals something from a stall without realizing it's a crime.
Just how much of this can you talk about without giving story spoilers?
Well, I guess without actually spoiling too much more, because I realise I've just gone and done that, haven't I? I've given away probably the first 5,000 words of the story. Thankfully, it is a little over longer than just under half that. That didn't make sense. I've given away just under half of the story plot, but anyway, okay. So she meets another character who has long been a fandom favourite, and this character is portrayed in a way you probably haven't seen them before, being that they're a runaway and trying to stay out of orphanages, but she doesn't have friends, and Derpy stumbles across her and just automatically wants to be friends. "Oh, I'm so happy to meet another someone who isn't trying to chase me." And a whole lot of stuff with the weather happens, and police, and of course by this time, Butler's noticed something's wrong. And that second half, the first half of the story is really light and cute and fluffy and exploratory, and we learn about Derpy's character. The second half goes a lot more, it becomes a lot more serious. So you have this two-tone story where the first half's cute and set up, and the second half is the serious nitty-gritty. This is what you really need to pay attention to. And all it does is it just further builds this little girl's character to the point where she matures a little bit by the end of it, but she's still not quite entirely sure of the scope of what she's done at the adventure that she's accidentally gone on.
Interesting. I can't help but notice that it seems literally impossible for Derpy to have a happy childhood story.
I don't know. The Rainbow Dash Presents version of Bubbles was pretty happy.
The Rainbow Dash Presents version of that horribly tragic story about an abusive mother. Yeah.
They actually made it a pretty positive one. I was quite impressed.
We do, as a fandom, like to destroy everything we love.
Yeah.
To be fair. Kind of a thing.
You only hurt the ones you love. This is very true.
They only hate you because they care, honest.
This is true enough. Right. Oops, CV, you are slightly muted at the moment.
I think he's completely muted at the moment.
Yeah. Check the top of your Google Hangouts thingy and click the mic.
Able to unmute him.
I can't unmute him for some reason.
Well, that's odd because I didn't actually choose to unmute myself. It came up and said that you guys muted me, so I was.
Yeah, that was SA.
Yeah.
C is acting up and exploiting his powers.
C squared is literally the worst.
Damn it, C squared.
Damn it,
Right.
C.
I didn't do anything.
Of
You
course.
tuck your hypotenuse away. We don't need to see that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. CV, second story.
Put your corsets
Come
back
on.
on.
Okay, second story, harissa. For those who don't know, harissa is a spicy sauce originating from North Africa and sort of making its way into Southern Europe as well. I think my geography is going to fail me here, but like Morocco or Monaco, that sort of area, around the Mediterranean anyway, along the African coast. So harissa is this spicy sauce, and half the story revolves around Zecora. She's the main character. And so you have Zecora in the present day. She's just making this spicy paste. And throughout the course of the story, you see various stages of her making this paste, and it all seems very mundane. But it's mixed in with, while she's making this paste, events of her past are running through her mind. And it paints an incredibly great picture of a land beyond equestrian borders that is very full of war and turmoil and ritualistic behavior. So we learn a lot about Zecora that you wouldn't expect about her, and it's a great character study because it shows that that is a world she chose to leave behind after a lot of stuff went down that negatively impacted her. She decided she didn't want to be a part of that world, came to Equestria, and now ekes out a peaceful existence in the Everfree Forests. So it's cool to see how she's gone from being that sort of completely different character in another world to doing like a 180 personality flip and coming to live in a peaceful land. But she always remembers her origins. And she doesn't let it change her or make her a bitter character, but she doesn't forget where she came from. And in making this paste, this harissa sauce, which she then ends up feeding to a bunch of characters who come over and they all have a grand old time. It's her way of sharing her culture with them without actually revealing what culture she's from. And so the whole story is just this contrast between now Zecora and then Zecora, and how the harissa and also the symbolism of the harissa being that it's spicy, it has a lot of kick. It's traditionally mild by African spicy standards, but it will surprise people who've never had it before if they underestimate it. And that you have that whole theme there running through the whole story, whether it is the actual making of the paste or the reminiscence of the past. And that past is quite eye-opening, and it's a glorious bit of world building that will probably change everyone's perception of Zecora as they know her.
I'm always a fan of extra world building. He says, being the admin of the World Building Alliance.
And at only 6,000 words, it's not a long read, so it's worth anyone's 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes if you're a slower reader, just to check it out, because it really does paint her character in such a way that I've never seen before, but also one that I can really appreciate a lot.
I'm okay with that. I'll have to check that out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it for the one that CB was involved in with the last round. So, without further ado, let's unleash the ferret on Arcanum.
Ark, you brought this on yourself. You're the one who said yes.
Yeah, well, I'm a sucker for punishment.
Let's see, where do I start? Well, I mean, the biggest thing you're known for is your Herflank and Sweet series. So why don't you tell me about that? Like, what basically made you look at Lyra and Bonbon and go, you know what, they totally need to be mastermind agents?
Of course.
It's really not interesting at all. I was on Reddit, and...
Well, obviously all good stories start with, I was on Reddit.
Yeah, I was on Reddit, and someone posted a picture of Luna shouting at Trixie, and I posted a comment on the spur of the moment, and I was like, this looks like they're in a show about superheroes, like a Saturday morning cartoon. And then someone said, you should write that. And then about, 6 hours later, I came back, and I was like, I wrote it. And that was Half-Flank and Sweets. That was the first one, whatever it was, 6,000 words or something. I just had a flash, and I was like, I'm gonna just write this, and I just busted it out, and and it's still my most successful story. But so
I mean, Bearded Lust, the rebeardening is not?
Bearded Lust 2, the rebeardening is my favorite story, and probably best. But
so why is it your favorite?
I don't know. Have you read it? I mean,
yeah, but I want to hear more about why it's your favorite.
Because I don't know, because it's really crass to laugh at your own work, but every time I read Bearded Lust 2, I do cry a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's crass to laugh at your own work. I think there's a lot to be said if you can make yourself laugh, you know? Like, if you can write something and read it and be like, yeah, this is still funny.
Yeah, there's just a couple of phrases in there that just always make me, I just read them back and I'm like, yeah, I did good there. And then it's hard to get that feeling a lot of the time, so I like that. I mean, can I say one? I don't know how PG this particular stream is.
Absolutely.
The PG
we're
thing
not
was
PG.
for a second.
The one where he says that, where what did I say? That she filled her up like a fire extinguisher in an ankle sock.
Oh.
Yeah, that always tickles me. When I read the lines like that, I just go, yeah, well done me. Yeah.
Bravo.
See, I haven't read this story in about 2 years at this point, so I'd completely forgotten about that one.
I know, it's been so long.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that sort of stuff is what makes me want to read something like that. If it's going to be full of
you
that
need
sort
to
of
read
humor,
it if
sign
you
me right
haven't.
up.
It's absolutely hilarious.
It was my reaction to people to just the feature box. I mean, obviously for forever fan fiction it's been feature box is full of porn. So I got a bit salty about it, so I just wrote my own porn story. But it's not sexy at all.
No, but it's hilarious. It's sexy because that's your exact fetish.
Well, one of the comments was like, "Oh man, I know what I'm doing tonight," and I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
I need to go find a fire extinguisher.
Well, yeah.
An ankle sock and a pony.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Oh dear.
So what inspired Bearded Lust then? We know what inspired Heartflanks and Sweets.
It was literally that. I was just actually Bearded Lust was what was the other story? Do you know Twy Hard 2, Twy Harder? Yeah, because I wrote that for the League of Extraordinary Gentle Cults. Yeah, when we did the mystery swap. And what was I doing? I was testing a line in the Skype chat, and I was like, read this, does this read right? Because it felt wrong. And someone was like, that sounds very masculine from Celestia. And I was like, sounds very masculine from Celestia. And then again, bizarre story. I don't know how. I just wrote that line out, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if Rarity thought that she was being very masculine, and then suddenly it turned into a sexual challenge, and then it all just went off. To be honest, most of my stories are I read a sentence wrong and go, what if? And then I spend the next 10 hours writing a story.
Is that the story behind Twy Hard 2, Twy Harder?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was, because we all had a theme, each pair got given, a prompt, and I think me and, Aesthetic B, I think me and Aesthetic B's was, action or something like that, or an action movie, and then when someone says action movie, I go Die Hard, straight away. So I just...
As it should be.
So I just thought of Die Hard, and I don't know, and then it all got a bit silly. as it usually does when I write things.
All got a bit silly should probably be your bio at this point. So.
It's pretty much, that's pretty much my story writing.
It's Arcanum, and it all got a bit silly.
Well, I always just have an idea, and then as I'm writing it, I go, oh no, but wouldn't it be cool if... And then I do that 6 times, and every time it gets an order of magnitude more stupid. And then, Heartflank and Sweet.
And then, multiple Heartflanks and Sweet.
Yeah, tapping his head. Woo.
That's how Equestria was made.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What year is it? 2016? Yeah, just...
like that.
Just need to check. You've not gone back in time.
How old is that reference? No.
Yeah.
How come all the story's only 2 years old?
Yeah, true.
2 years old in this fandom is pretty ancient at this point.
Yeah, true enough.
How does it feel to be old news, Arcanum?
I know, man. I was...
was like, "Hey, do you want me on the podcast?" He's like, "No one's gonna fucking remember me. Why do you want me on? No one's gonna recall."
Yeah, no, I'm always really surprised when people say like, "Oh, do you want to do a thing?" Because I'm like, "Why?"
How am I still relevant?
I haven't done anything.
Mecca.
I haven't.
I think the better question is why not? Really, it's a little bit of fun.
Well, yeah. Oh no, I mean I love it. I love like as soon as Ferret can attest when she asked, I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, he was like, "All right, that sounds
Hang on.
cool. What do I have to do?"
We met at Buck, didn't we?
We did. I forgot to. I was going to say we didn't get a chance because we went live, but I was going to say Plum. Oh my god! And
Yeah.
oh my god!
Yeah. It just completely slipped my mind for a second there, and Blue Shift was there as well, except with less XCOM. So.
It was. Yeah. Meeting Blue Shift was pretty much the culmination of my live streams. He got me a present. He got me a signed copy of one of the issues of Transformers: Legacy of Unicron.
Dude.
And it's signed by Simon Furman, who I love because he's a brilliant but terrible comic writer. And he wrote, and he said he made him write, "Finish your My Little Pony fan fiction, Arcadium, deliberately spelt wrong. Yours, Simon Furman." And
Oh my god.
it's one of my most treasured possessions.
You just reminded me after that panel that you and Blue Shift won, someone went up to Blue Shift and asked for an autograph, and they pulled out the book for him to autograph, and it was a copy of Past Sins.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Oh, poor Bluesy.
And Blue was just like, huh. Well, okay then.
Did he actually autograph it?
Oh yeah, of course he did. You can't say no.
I bet that fella felt a bit daft afterwards.
If he's listening to this,
the real
he's
kicker
like,
is if he signs it pen stroke.
the best part is if that guy is listening to this and is going, wait, no.
What do you mean?
Errors have been made. Jesus Christ.
Oh, dear.
I'm a fool.
Basically, a lot of your stories are based on, you have an idea, you read something, and you just kind of go off. Does that happen like for your Dark and your Tragedy Fix too? Like 5 should be enough, or turning the page, or is it for that stuff you have a different process for it?
No. Again, it's pretty much the same thing. I spent a lot more time on 5 should be enough than I had on anything else though, because that was for it was for a prompt contest, I think. And then I had like a 2-day deadline, and I was like, okay, I'll do this story, and I busted it out, and then I just sort of really liked it. So for that one, I spent ages refining. Well, for me, I spent like 2 days writing it, and then about a week tweaking it, and I never ever do that. And I got someone to edit it, and that was the first time I'd ever done the whole like, oh, be my editor thing.
You decided to pretend you were professional.
Yeah. Oh, beta readers.
What losers?
No, not losers at all. Sorry, it's been a very long time since I've been in the fandom, so I'm sort of like retroactively really cynical about a lot of it. I still love everybody. I still love the whole thing, but yeah, like I keep thinking back to stuff and going, oh god, ugh.
I know you still pointed out that you got 5 stars on EQD in the description, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's like how I knew we were dealing with some older material.
That's like semi-ironic. That's like six stars on EQD, baby. Yeah, like. But yeah. Dark, pretty much all of my stories came from like, oh, here's a prompt. Because I always work from prompts, basically. Like it's always one sentence or one idea, and then I just go, "Oh, this could be interesting." 8,000 words later, some stuff has happened. I'm not sure how. That's generally how it goes.
Interesting. So the solution to get you to write more is literally just throw prompts at you?
Yeah, pretty much. If you just
I
give
can
me.
do that.
Well,
I can totally do that.
You might got the write-off association.
I've already got the
Yes.
I've already got the idea for the next Half-Life and Sweets chapter. To be fair, I've had that sitting in my brain for about 2 years. Yeah, I even know what it's called. It's called Lyra Heartstrings Dies in Lava. And I know exactly what it's going to be about.
Comedy.
I know exactly what it's about. I've got every single
dear.
detail exactly planned out. But
Somehow,
yeah.
with that title, I think we all kind of know what that's about.
Yeah, maybe.
I have
Spoilers.
Suspicion.
Spoilers. She doesn't die in lava. Spoilers.
But I figured that was a given.
Yeah.
Like, that's the title. Well, obviously it's going to be the complete opposite. So presumably she's going to live in ice.
Yeah.
She gets frozen somehow, yeah.
Yeah, she goes to space. It's a lava planet. Oh no.
Oh.
She finally gets a mecha like she always wanted.
The stomps around, of course.
But yeah, no, I tend to either sit on ideas for a year or more, or write it immediately. Like, there's no middle ground. Like, I never work on a story or anything. I either just go, oh my god, I must do it, or sit on it for ages and go, oh, I should probably get around to this.
Well, in your defense, you've been like living on a phone, basically.
Well, yeah, the past 6 months have definitely been trying on the anything text-based front.
I don't know how you stand that. I'd go crazy. I'd be like, nope, that's it. I'm invading the local library and stealing a computer.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure that when you go to Guantanamo Bay, the first thing they do is make you use Facebook on an Android phone.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
It's pretty bad.
That's his.
Yeah, that's the
pretty fucking brutal.
breaking right there. Yeah.
To be fair, when I fired up, I would never want to bash Nighty. He's a really cool guy, and his site is amazing. But I fired it up to look at some of my stats and stuff on my phone just before this, and yeah, I'm pretty sure they could hear the screams in space. Wow.
Christ.
Nah, it's all right though. But yeah, no, phone has hurt my writing definitely.
Yeah, this is true enough. I mean, we also had our very own C-Squared, whose computer died roughly a year ago and only recently got fixed.
Yeah. His awesome computer screen that he could just literally take the frame and wave it up and down in front of the camera.
Oh wow.
That's fun.
Yeah, and I had to talk to him through Steam chat. I don't really like Steam chat, mostly because I have like 5 people on Steam.
Yeah, Skype basically didn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
The C-Squared is in this call right now, but you may not be able to tell because his webcam stopped working.
Yeah, this is the We English Now, Seattle's annual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least
Taking it all back.
Actually, no, this is completely Commonwealth, considering C-Squared is dead, long live the C-Squared. So...
Yeah. So we got 3 Englishers, an Aussie, and a Canadian. Yeah, we're pretty Commonwealth.
We're pretty Commonwealth.
Yeah, we are.
Da, 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 da. All in the stream, please rise.
You don't own my country anymore. I'm not moving.
I'm not moving, but for an entirely different reason. I'm not wearing trousers.
And thankfully, you don't have to find out if he's telling the truth.
Maybe you should be.
Unless I was Pav, in which case I would have proved it in seconds.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you were Pav, you would have said and then rocketed out of your chair.
Whoops. Yeah.
I can't move because of. Oh, she's got off. I had a cat.
One run away.
I like that you've been drinking enough that you can't tell if there's a cat without physically looking.
I would have turned my webcam on, but the lighting in my room is terrible. I mean, you can get a little bit of the beautiful, okay. There we go. See, look at that.
Ooh, actually, it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not too
You
bad.
could turn it on if you wanted to.
Also,
we're going to
just
go
to
back to
point
this
out,
video after it's finished recording, and we're going to go back and pause it right there so that we can just...
Yeah.
There we go. Look, that's
Ooh,
what Ark really looks like.
Yeah.
It blurs.
I mean, it's not like 2 of us have met him in person and seen it for real life or something, but you know.
It's crazy talk.
Also, just like to point out, Arch, that Bonbon has snuck away, so if Arch suddenly disconnects, that's Bonbon messing with his wires again, because she likes to do
Because she wants
that.
attention.
Yes.
Damn it, Sweets.
How is Pogo Cat doing?
She's
Pogo Cat.
she's doing all right.
He called her that first.
I
Pogo.
did. There
Oh
she
my
is.
God.
Oh, look at that. That's a sweet cat.
Bon Bon.
Bon.
Oh, there.
So what do you want?
Love that cat
Oh,
face.
sweetie.
What?
Yeah, exactly. This is that cat
Why'd you
expression of,
wake me
I was
up?
sleeping. I was
Beautiful.
busy and you interrupted me.
Fucking pervert, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
It's
That's awful.
alright, she gets her revenge on me. She covers me in cat hair.
Yes. This is the downside to owning a long hair cat.
Mm.
This is the downside to owning a pet. I had 2 border terriers. They have the shortest hair on earth. Jesus fucking Christ, it got everywhere.
Oh, I have
Like,
2
there
Irish
was
red
rooms.
setters. I could practically like spin that hair and knit with it if I really wanted.
Yeah, like there was a room at our old house where the door was literally locked 24/7. It was still coated in dog hair somehow. They couldn't get in.
They just
You
sit
know
by
that
the door
stuff
and
that
scratch
flies underneath the
Oh,
door.
Oh,
shit.
there's a squirrel!
Speaking
We're
of
no longer
Alright.
Commonwealth.
Red Squirrel has turned up. He's late. He had to drive home, and Red Squirrels can only drive slowly.
Ah, a red squirrel.
And nobody in the stream is going to get that.
No.
Oh, we have a squirrel in chat.
Do you have any
Yeah.
idea how hard it is to jump between the brake and the gas pedal when you can't see the road?
Oh, squirrel, do what I do. Just use sticks.
Mm. Do it Mr. Bean style. Strap a chair to the top of your mini.
Yeah,
and just sort of
and then
like
use
have
a mop.
ropes. Yeah, have ropes, a mop, and a paint can. That's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
you need.
All you need.
True science fact.
True
Ah,
enough.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, what other stories of arcs can we talk about? We've done Toy Heart 2, we've done the tragic ones. We haven't talked about your seeming absolute dedication to Tengen Toppen Gurren Lagann and the
Yes.
story that spawned from that.
God, Comahen. Oh my God.
Tell us all about Comahen. I'd
Oh
like to cut out that
God.
story was one of the reasons I actually watched the damn anime. Because
Oh,
I read it and was like, oh shit, I want to get these references. Damn it, now I have to watch this stupid thing.
I'm glad. Oh my God. I
I
don't
only
know.
got through half of it, I'm sorry.
What?
I got to where they're in the future and the girlfriend gets kidnapped by aliens and I just got too fed up.
Oh yeah, it's a bit. It
I
does
know that's the
slow
part
down.
where it gets... Yeah, exactly. It just got
It's-
so slow and tedious.
yeah.
Like,
The-
the other
the
one that
last-
pissed me off was with the 2 little kids, and I'm like, why are you doing this? I don't care. I want giant robot monster fight.
You should catch up because the last quarter is totally rad.
Well,
It's
no, I'll go to the last
ridiculous.
quarter to skip everything. Yeah, I've heard. But that's why I was so annoyed.
But yeah,
Somebody warned me that it gets crap for a while.
yeah, it is a bit slow.
I mean, isn't that the fate of all anime? Like, literally every single one that has more than one season has a period where it gets a bit crap. Like, I can't think of any exceptions to that rule, if I'm quite honest. Admittedly,
manga.
I'm not...
As a manga Dio, it was brilliant all the way through. It didn't get crap
Yeah, as a
once.
manga player, it's pretty soft. But that's only got one
Lucky Star
season.
as
So.
Has it only got one season? I thought it had 2.
No, it's a 124 episode season.
Oh, I
Yeah,
must have made the other
Lucky
one up in
Star
my
is
head.
the
then.
same.
Yeah.
But I love Lucky Star so much.
Well, I did say more than one season, so technically I'm still right.
Hmm.
Yeah! Because I realized, I was halfway through saying that and then I realized, actually no, One Punch Man had one season and that was pretty fucking epic all the way through.
One Punch Man is an astonishing piece of work, and if you haven't
Yes.
seen it or read it,
Right.
you should stop
Dude.
listening right now. Forget this nonsense. Go and watch One Punch Man.
Like, yeah,
Wow.
I read one of the mangas. I read the manga that was better arted. Later
Yeah.
on. I struggled a bit because there was a bit of problem with English going on throughout that whole thing. But holy fuck, the anime is phenomenal.
The anime's
Yeah.
off the charts.
The anime is
Is
obviously
it
a love
fantastic?
letter.
It's a fantastic story. It's a fantastic parody of everything from Superman to other like Shonen Jump animes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But it's
Dragon
also
Ball Z. And...
Dragon Ball Z, absolutely. It's also fucking beautiful.
Really
It is
sad,
Oh, yeah.
man.
gorgeous.
It's really
Oh.
sad too.
Is it not
Licenseless
getting a second
Rider?
season?
Uh, Well, it won't. It's there's not enough manga for there to be a second season, but
Is there not?
I'm sure there will be. No, nowhere near. There's only been like an arc of the manga is 2 episodes in the series, and we've had like
Yes,
an arc and a half.
Yeah,
What are we
yeah.
talking about One Punch Man? How did we get to this?
Gurren Lagann.
Oh, because Comahen, right.
Yeah. So tell us
Yeah.
about Comahen.
Right.
We were talking about
that's-
Japan.
yeah, that's very much another one where I was just no, was I talking to someone? I think I was talking to someone about a Gurren Lagann crossover, like just joking, like, oh man, how would you do a Gurren Lagann crossover? And I started thinking about it, And then I just had this idea. I had a bunch of images, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool image. I really like that." But I couldn't be bothered writing the story, like the whole story. So I was just like, "I'll just write this bit and post it, and I'll just pretend it's the story." And yeah, the way I just did that, it's basically one tiny little chunk of an entire Gurren Lagann crossover that I have in my head, but will never ever write because I just can't be bothered. Because there's so much stuff. Because obviously, like the way that was like 6,000 words, Komahen, something like that, and it's like.
Something like that.
And it's about 8 minutes of anime, and I was just like, I don't want to do the whole thing. I really don't want to do the whole thing because and also
robot fights.
Yeah, and also it was a little bit like it was going to be a little bit, there's crossovers that are like it's the show except that there are ponies in it, like that kind of crossover that you get. It was basically that. It was basically just like it was Gurren Lagann happens except that there's also ponies and there's some neat imagery. And that's about it, So yeah, I just didn't carry it on, but I liked it. I enjoyed doing it because I got to come up with really god awful Japanese. Like, I got to indulge my love of making up robot nonsense.
Fitting for this stream, considering it's the Stompy edition with loads of BattleTech stuff going on in the chat.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Ah, it's coming back as well. It's coming back.
What's coming back?
BattleTech.
Dude, are you a big BattleTech sort of person?
Well, I used to be a massive BattleTech person, but ever since all the games and stuff got a bit terrible, I haven't paid much attention. But yeah, no, God no, Clans Unite.
Yes! Clan Wolf, you fuckers! Yes!
Did you hear about the group that we have where we still play the terrible games?
Wow. It's a good game, it's just terrible teammates. I have never seen a game with such a low quality of pub matchmaking. Like, holy fuck.
I just miss Chrome Hounds, okay? I miss Chrome Hounds, the MechWarrior game that wasn't a MechWarrior game.
I enjoyed the customization of Chrome Hounds, I'm not going to lie, mostly because one of the things you could fit was like a weapon which was literally just a pneumatic spike. That you ran up to someone and just doosh, and you punched mechs with spikes. Yes!
It was pretty great.
So you're like the equivalent of a mech Van Helsing?
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Now there needs to be a story about a pony arms race about who can build the biggest robot that shoots the biggest parties and gives the biggest hugs.
And also has the biggest back fists.
It'd be like a Lyra versus Pinky thing.
Would those spike fists literally just be fists in the shape of Spike?
Yeah.
And Spike is really happy someone's recognizing his likeness in Twilight's Mac.
Oh no.
Dragon fist attack.
Dragon punch.
Sure? Yes, literally sure you can. Japanese jokes.
We are so cultured.
Oh yes.
Kill me.
You have to write more first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all you did. This is all you brought me on for, isn't it, Ferret? To like guilt me, go like, look, people still listen to you.
Yeah.
Write more, Arcanum.
Join us. Join us.
Oh dear.
That's what Farrah does best, though. She makes people write,
Yes.
or at least
I
doesn't
like to
want
go
to get
over
off
her
their
ass.
case until
What
they're
her ass
forced
I'm
to.
effective with.
God fucking damn it, CV. Oh,
Crazy as it works.
Is that a Zeus?
Yes.
I think that's a Zeus. Nice. Yeah. BattleTech. But anyway.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, the link. Oh.
Yeah, the link. That's what I was talking about.
I'm on phone. I can't multitask at all. All I have is pictures of your faces.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a picture of a mech with a dog's face.
Yes.
It's basically, would the dog's head be in the cockpit, which is in the front and lower down, or would it be on top of the mech?
It's a parody of that.
It's a meme.
It's a parody of that. How would a dog wear trousers joke that went around. But anyway, I was going to invite you to the sort of MechWarrior group that we've got going on, and then I realized you don't have a computer. So
See, there's another reason you gotta get a computer again, dude.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Come mech with us. Do it.
I'm too busy on Final Fantasy 14.
I know what else
I've
we
been
can
meaning
talk
to get
about.
into that, hey, but I've never had a
Pav with
laptop
Final
with an
Fantasy
hour to
14
run
an
it.
awful lot. Pav does that sort of thing, so you could, you know.
Yeah, well, that's Pav.
Yeah, it's bad.
I am mid-core as balls on FF14 at the moment. Sorry, what were you saying, Ferret? What could we talk about?
When are you going to tell me more about Secret of the Magic Crystals?
Oh my god, yeah, that game. I have never had more fun than when I was doing that silly
amazing
little
fucking
LP.
blog post. I'm just looking for it now.
Oh man, what was it like Secrets of the Magic Crystal 2 with the recrystallining?
Yes, something
yeah,
like that.
no, that was just a good game. I don't know, like it was one of these things where you know.
I'm sorry, were you just about to say that was a good game?
No, it was a good
that's
game
the
to
horse
play.
game.
The horse game, remember the horse game? And
Yeah,
everyone was,
I remember the horse
and everyone was like, everyone was sort of giving it to each other as a joke, as a joke gift, like, it's a horse game. Look at it, it's really bad. And I was like, I'll give it a shot. I'll play it. And like 10 minutes in, I was like, the world must see this.
And so he did this amazing blog post all about it, and it's just the best Let's Play I've ever seen. And I'm trying to find it because every time I read it, I crack up. I literally am just like, oh god, I'm gonna pee myself laughing.
I don't remember.
Here's your like past sins parody stuff.
I just remember I got very excited about one of my horses. I wrote a very enthusiastic paragraph about one of my horses.
Yeah, I posted copious pictures.
I'm just going to.
Secret of the Magic Crystal 2, the recrystalling.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the first one and then the second one.
Yeah, it was such a really, really bad game because it was like it was just one of those.
It's not a game for anybody. It is not for bronies. It is not for adults. It is not for children. It is perhaps a game for lobotomy victims, but that's probably a stretch.
Like Farming Simulator.
Yes.
But for horses.
You shut your mouth.
Farming Simulator is for Germans.
Farming Simulator is solid gold. Have you ever played Tractor Jousting? Like
I've seen one person who drove a motorcycle on Farming Simulator, and he drove in a circle, and the turtle grew so tight he literally flew up out of the map.
Yeah. Farming Simulator is one of my favorite videos of all time on the internet. Is the the like MLG Pro Farming Simulator video, like Bangarang's playing, and it's like
like memes and
it's all like 360 corn scope, and then like and it's like pouring corn into a truck, and it's like ban this sick filth. It's so funny, stone cold classic.
I remember something like that for one of the railway train simulator ones where
with buckle up home slice, then it's like XXX bitch triple X
ring. Oh god, that was by Mott Def, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
The horse is the one you loved was Adley Jack.
Adley Jack and Alt Manatee.
Her. Yes, Adrian was my first horse, and I want to treat her right, so I immediately tie a bunch of rocks to her neck and tell her to pull them.
Yeah. It's such a weird, because it was like the thing was, it was one of those it was like a Facebook game.
Oh my god, none of the images are showing up.
Because Imga's still dead.
Was Imga dead?
Well, Imga is having issues with other sites linking to Imga images. It's not just Filmvic, and Zach is currently talking to the Imga technical people. So.
Fair enough. The screen is known for its unparalleled grace and beauty. I found my rarity, clutching at the mouse with Cheeto-smeared fingers and breathing deeply through my alcohol-clogged beard. I managed to hawk the words "best pony" from my Flemish throat. Sweating profusely with excitement, I click buy. Fulls cost 300 gold, and I only have 100 left after my reservation.
Oh man, yeah. The funny thing was, I had actually been eating Cheetos at that point, but not in the gross nerd way, just like regular Cheetos, No, it was, but yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. That actually, before my PC broke, because I did Secret of the Magic Crystals, I wanted to do Let's Plays, but I just couldn't get it to work, and then my PC broke, so that got nipped in the bud.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yes,
Good stuff
is
there.
hardly Jack ready? She looks into my eyes and yours with trepidation. Is she ready? She's trained in numerical terms and is more than a match in a fist fight for Galactus, but is she truly ready? I stroke her mane gently and lean close, whispering gently, the fuck you are, but if you botch this, you're glue. Like the beloved pet duly comforted, I pack her off to the races.
Gently.
You know, I did. Man, that was because you see that was the thing back in the day. That was like at the height of because you do see this a lot. I think with like a lot of the the people who were doing fan fiction and stuff around about this time, is that a lot of people who were really active just sort of drifted away. You know what I mean? Like I think there's definitely like an old guard and then like a new breed and then there's people who are old guard who've kind of stuck around.
Don't let D hear you talk about that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh my God, D! I haven't spoken to D in forever. Right, as soon as we get out of this.
D is currently in a Skype group talking about, oh man, I haven't talked to Arcanium in ages.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Apparently he's busy, so he says, oh yeah, I'll catch up with you later. So expect to hear from him at some point.
Oh, me and D used to be bezies, mate. I love Wanderer D. He's the reason. He's really the reason I know anybody, and because I've made loads and loads of friends and stuff in Pony, and it's all thanks to Wanderer D, really, because he invited me to the League of Extraordinary Gentle Cults and that was where I met a lot of it was in FimFix chat, but like Obs and like Obsolescence and Blue Shift and that, all of like Obs is one of my best friends. Love Obs.
Obs is great.
Obs is the best. I love Obs. But like I met all of these people just because of that. Like so I do owe quite a lot to D in terms of and he used to back when like I cared about things like exposure, like he gave me a lot of exposure. Like he was always inviting me to, streams and podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember the old FimFiction interview stuff. Those were fun.
Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah, those were cool.
Yeah,
I miss those.
I like how you're talking about how much you love Obs and how great he is, whereas your ending is literally, I quit the game weeping and gifted Obsolescence because I'll be damned if only I have to suffer.
I hurt Obs because I love him.
Oh yeah, we had that discussion earlier.
We've come full circle. You only hurt the ones you love.
You see? It was all an elaborate ploy by me.
According to Keikaku.
Keikaku means plan.
Yeah. Translators, mate. Oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm absolutely 100% for D or possibly other people restarting the old FimFiction interview things, because they were super fun.
Definitely really cool.
I was never in any of the FimFiction interviews, but I watched all of them to the point where Blue was actually starting to give me shout-outs. And this was at the time when I was literally nobody. Like, I wasn't part of Seattle's Angels, and the only thing I'd ever done was started the TWE with other people, so, Oh,
and now look at you, about to publish your 10 billion word opus.
Yes. What's it made of? A whole 6 words repeated, or is it 7 words repeated?
So is that 10 billion word opus just a copy paste of every single word that's been published on FimFiction?
It's literally just a one-to-one copy-paste of the rules, and it's just entitled, "You fuckers, you will not read this in any other way."
Rate it properly, it won't get past Meester.
And then you go on your notifications the next day, and there's like, you have 4 million notifications. Such and such has added this to read later. Such and such has added this to read later. Ad infinitum.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh god, now I've found all your past sins parodies, like Pastern Sins, a clubfic about ponies with foot fetishes.
Oh,
Pasteurized Sins, a documentary about the milk mare of Trottingham.
Oh, God.
No.
Pasty Sins, a Dungeons & Dragons games devolves into backstabbing and betrayal.
Oh, no.
Pasty Sins, the tell-all member of the most famous burlesque dancer in Equestria, Featherweight.
Oh, no. Ark, what have you done?
I remember this. What? What do you mean, what have I done? I don't even remember. Is this like an old blog of mine or something?
Yeah, it's an old blog.
What
Oh,
have you
okay.
done?
Vast,
Oh,
one Philly, 1,000 eating disorders.
I like how I'm asking what have you done, and you're going, I have no idea. I remember none of this.
I did something.
No, I sort of I fell out of Pony a little bit because I don't know why I got distracted and I did other things. So like it sounds terrible, but I honestly have no idea who anyone is nowadays. You know, like I know all of you guys because you know you've been around for you've been around for quite a while,
We're
but like
old.
I keep seeing all these people saying like, oh,
We lost you there.
Ark, you've died.
We hear nothing.
Oh no.
We'll never find out what was said.
He died right when he was fading off. He's like, all these people going, oh.
Yeah, he was
Well,
He was about
I'm
to
pretty sure he
battle.
doesn't actually know me. I think I came around after he stopped
Wow.
paying attention to things.
I mean, he was about to badmouth one of the new Film Fiction famous people, and they've apparently had him killed. So,
Oh no!
rest in peace, Arcanium, Steven.
Arcanum.
Arcanum, we hardly knew ye, because you disappeared for 2 fucking years.
Because you don't know how to say his
Yeah.
name.
Daniel's Angels. Witness a murder.
Yeah.
It's a little
It's the Thunder
What
Monster.
happened just when I started running a backup on my computer. I was like, did I kill him?
Oh no.
No.
I reckon his phone battery's
How
probably
could
just
you?
dying.
You know you're jealous of another famous Englishman, but Christ, did you really have to take it this far?
Garrett, Pokemon
Yeah,
Skype or something, find out if he's still alive.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm trying. But remember, he's on a phone, so
This is
he's not
true.
necessarily going to see anything.
He's probably run out of battery or something like that.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be it.
Got a phone.
Because
Ah.
when you're in such a demanding program like this, it can just go.
Yay. I'm
Oh,
so
dear.
glad we found more BattleTech people. Yes!
Yay!
Just need to get him a computer now.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
all we
really.
need to do.
He was
I've got
supposed
some
to be
computer
words
parts
about
lying
getting one.
around here. I could probably start putting some together, but that would involve going and finding him.
Yeah. Well, just wait till Buck. He'll turn up.
Mm.
Oh god, I'm absolutely hyped for Buck, and I'm potentially hyped for GalaCon. The GalaCon website is so weird. Like, it has so little content for the number of like pages and links you can click on it. Like, I learned basically nothing while spending like 20 minutes clicking on the various lists, like who we are, and like I only realized that I only found out where the bloody GalaCon is because I realized that they had it in a little box off to one side on one of the pages. There's not a page telling you where and when GalaCon is. It's ridiculous.
Isn't it in a city called Ludwigsburg or something?
Ludwigsburg, yeah, in Germany. Like,
Yeah. Boy, you might actually run into Orbiting Kettle there.
I'm definitely planning on attending GalaCon if I can, because flights to BronyCon cost £700 if you order them in reasonable time for a return flight.
That's
a return
that's really
flight.
good, Plum.
Yeah,
That's actually really good.
Yeah, that was a pretty good deal that I got with it. £700, £1,000 is not unheard of. But
I certainly heard of it.
yeah, I can get a return flight to Germany for about a couple of weeks for what, £70?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah, and
that.
then it's the opposite for me, whereas, for BronyCon I can drive down. For GalaCon, it's,
Okay.
that's going to be pricey.
I could.
I'm just trying to put this in perspective
love
with
to-
Mhm.
trying to put this in perspective with the size of my country. A flight from England to Germany would be like a flight from Brisbane to Sydney. That would probably only cost me about $89 one way.
Yeah, Tack is
$99
basically
maybe.
nodding his head in agreement.
Yeah, it's basically about £30 one way to go to the nearest airport to Ludwigsburg, which is actually pretty. Well, it is EasyJet, so you're gonna pay an extra £50 in order to take luggage or something like that.
I think you're paying
Yeah.
extra terms to be able to sit down.
Yeah, you'll pay an extra 10 for the seat. Yeah.
Another £5 for the seatbelt.
Yeah.
£2 for the clip.
Mhm.
They'll
But
mostly
still-
nickel and dime you.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you will get to Ludwigsburg for £30,
That counts.
which is, that's not bad. But yeah, BronyCon is stupidly expensive.
But
Like,
it's so loud.
I was
awesome.
lucky to get a £700 ticket.
I would love to go again.
Yeah, I definitely plan on going again next year, like 2017.
Oh,
because
poor
it was a huge
He's
amount.
suffering. It's tragic.
Yeah. You're
Alright,
suffering.
Arcanum has come back. He goes, technical difficulties.
Oh dear.
It won't
He's
let
coming
him
back.
rejoin. Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no.
No, I
Send him
think
the
it's
link
just stuff
again.
on his phone. Because he literally
We'll
just
try
came back
copying
on
the
Skype
direct
and just
link.
said,
See what happens.
hooray, here he is.
I'm back. I'm back.
Hey!
I'm back. Sorry.
So how'd that
Come on.
impersonation attempt go? Obviously not very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Every now it's 3 o'clock in the morning. BT decided, oh well, we'll do some maintenance or whatever for 20
Yeah.
seconds. So yeah, sorry about that. What was going on?
We were discussing Gallicon and the fact that you
You were
evil
talking-
swords refused to come to BronyCon.
Yeah.
You were talking about the old guard and the new guys, and you were starting to say something about some of the newer writers.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
think-
just how I don't know who any of them are, because I'm just so completely divorced from the whole thing at the moment. But all I was going to say was that just this actual thing here has kind of inspired me to go back, because like you've reminded me of all the sort of like, oh yeah, I like all these. Oh yeah, cool people
Hooray!
talking about a cool show. Oh yeah.
See, these are
All these
they're
awesome
people who
people
they're not
I
only talking
just-
about a cool show, but they're talking about your cool stuff too.
It's true. I'd also like to point out just slightly that if you're ever in need of recommendations for good stories from relatively new authors, there do happen to be groups designed for that sort of thing.
I hear there's some kind of review group that like looks at a couple of stories in like a podcast format.
There's
Yeah,
occasionally a
there's
group
something
that focuses on low-mentioned stories that don't have a lot of attention.
And
yeah.
I also hear they're slightly over-enthusiastic, aren't they, Arcadian?
Oh,
Oh, that was
But
good.
on the other hand, at least they have very understanding guests who don't care that nobody pronounces their name right except one person.
I just heard that they were all just a bunch of faffs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, take it as
No,
you will.
what they
man.
do is faff.
Are you still gonna hold? Are you still holding that against me, by the way, Plum?
I just
You
find
gonna-
it fucking hilarious. Okay, so for those who don't know,
dear.
Arcanum even was on a panel at Buck, which is a UK convention for bronies, a year and a half ago.
It was a while back. Well, hang on. I had literally just. Oh, this is gonna sound really sad. I had just started going out with my girlfriend, so yes, just over
About
a year and a half ago. Yeah, just over a year and a
Yeah.
half ago.
And Arcanum, I said it right that time, was on the panel with Blue Shift
Learn!
90.
You don't need
Yeah.
a scribble.
Yeah, with Blue Shift 90 and Obam Scribbler and a couple of other guys who I can't remember the name of, so sorry guys. And I happened to ask a question which Ark answered, and it was, what do you think of Seattle's Angels and similar site-posted groups? And he said they were slightly over-enthusiastic, then asked who I was.
I was honest. I said I liked what they did. What they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it counts.
It was beautiful. It was
Look, man.
beautiful.
Perfect.
Look, man. If I don't know what you look like, you can't be expecting me to be all like lying to save your feelings, all
I
right?
absolutely didn't. I absolutely didn't expect you to do that. That was exactly what I wanted. That was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I was going to say, you want to get the
what,
honest answer, not the tailored one.
Mhm.
What date is BuckCon this year?
Buck is in April.
Oh, is it back on? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. They skipped a year for rescheduling things, but it's back on in April. I think.
Oh, I was led to believe that the one I was at was the last one.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors about Buck continuing, but
Yeah, there was a
At
lot
the
of
time,
sort
it
of
seemed
confusion
like it
over
was going to be
things.
the last one.
yeah, and then
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
just. But the greatest thing about the newest Buck announcement is it's not the same venue, so there's
Oh,
more
thank
than
God.
like 20 20 square feet. Because let's
I'm-
face it,
Yeah.
that was cramped. It
I'm-
was
I'm-
really cramped.
I'm contractually obliged to speak well of Buck, but yeah, the venue was not one I would have chosen.
It was cozy.
Yeah, it was cozy. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, it was cozy enough that I happened to bump into both Wooden Toaster and Twiggy in a corridor, and then realized that corridor was the main hall. I was like, oh, well then.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there was sort of like the dance room wasn't, because they opened up one of the station things for the dance room, didn't they? So like the dance room was like bigger than the rest of the con put together.
Yeah, this was the stage when Mike the Microphone was doing the auction for stuff.
Yes.
And this was the stage where Mike the Microphone reminded everyone that due to an unfortunate lawnmower accident, his eyesight was crap, so he couldn't see people bidding on things.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, it was good.
This was also the very same auction where Nighty paid 800 UK pounds for a Snowdrop plushie.
Oh yes.
Well, the charity, that was one thing I was genuinely amazed at, actually, because I go to that one of the things I was genuinely amazed by at Buck was the charity, because I go to anime conventions a lot. I go to I always go to the summer and April one, so Ame and Kita. If anyone is a regular convention goer, you could probably catch me there. But they always, they have charity auctions, and it's always, and so I'd say like the AmeCon one, it's like if there's a charity auction, it's it's like, oh my god, they reached £100. Oh heavens, good, that's that's a lot. And then like I went to Buck, and it was just like, if it didn't hit £400, everyone was like, oh well, didn't do that well. I couldn't believe the amount of money that was getting thrown around, but then what Nighty really put it into perspective for me, because what he said was, what he told me was that like he went into the auction, and he and with the basically he just put it in his mind like, I'm going to buy something, so like he would just pick a thing and just say, I'm going to bid on it until I win. Like, and so like
his thing was a Snowdrop plushie.
Yeah, it was still wasn't the highest bid thing though, if you recall.
No, it wasn't.
The surprise Chrysalis plushie that pulled was it £1,400? That was that was the big winner, and everyone was like, it was just like, oh, we've got a surprise item, and everyone was like, oh, that's quite cute, Chrysalis plushie, and then just the money kept going up.
£1,400 for that, please.
Yeah, sweet. That was mental.
That was pretty.
It's not the most expensive plushie I've heard of though.
Absolutely not. But it's £1,400 to go to charity is not bad.
I've got a photo on my phone, because it was Nighty had that plushie that he bought, another plushie that he bought, and someone else, I can't remember who. I'm sorry if you were there. I can't remember who, but they had a plushie they bought of Britannia. And I've got this picture of 3 plushies standing next to each other, and it's £2,000 worth of plushie in one photograph, and it's just 3 plushies, and I was like, I just can't believe the money that gets thrown around. I mean, it's great.
I don't know if it's £2,000 worth of plushie, but it was definitely £2,000 spent on plushie.
Yeah, absolutely. Ouch! Ice burn to the plushie creation market there.
That's pretty damn insulting, CV.
I'm just saying, like, I know that people definitely put their heart and soul into making these plushies. I'm not doubting that for a second. But I mean, you can see all these behind me, and they're officially licensed plushies from Fourth Dimension Entertainment, and I picked them up for $25 each US plus shipping.
So basically $25 US plus £800 in shipping.
I was going to say, don't factor out the shipping.
No, it was about $25 again for each one.
Also, I'm really skeptical that Snowdrop is a licensed 40E plushie.
Yeah.
See, for example, I don't know.
Snowdrop is the exception there. She's actually a Lunar Shine plushie. The rest of them are Fourth Dimension.
Lunar Shine are the people who made this plushie as well, so it's alright.
Oh yes, the adorable little bat pony.
They're adorable.
Yep, same people.
This is another thing.
Snowdrop is basically a pony animation of the, oh my god, look at the blind girl, isn't she tragic? Because clearly she was so capable of living a normal life.
Yeah.
Oh, you better never read my Snowdrop story, you'll hate it.
Gotta get that tragedy tag. Did we ever get that tragedy tag?
No, it doesn't have a tragedy tag.
Oh man, those debates long into the night.
We now have a drama tag.
We do have a drama tag.
We have a mystery tag and a sci-fi tag and a
We have a sci-fi tag?
We have a sci-fi tag.
God damn it.
And we even have an Equestria Girls tag, so we can separate Equestria Girls from human now.
We even have a second-person story tag.
Does the drama tag get attached to every blog post?
Just about.
We still haven't got those new characters implemented, though.
the characters are planning to go live at a point which I can't really specify, but it's sometime in the relatively near future.
So that's pretty sweet. I mean, I waited long enough
basically,
to
Zach is
watch it,
working
so I
on
can
it
wait
rather
for
than 90.
characters.
Zach is working super overtime on Finvic.
That's why I said Zach is working on it rather than 90.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Stacy
I
got
just
happen.
90's
hear
currently
nothing
moving
but
house.
praise for Zach, like just heart and soul dedication.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
90 is currently moving house, so he's not in a position to do an awful lot of stuff Finvic
Poor
related.
guy.
Moving to his new mansion.
The Brony Buck Mansion, yeah.
I bought this with my brony money.
It's got a fountain that just it's fueled purely by tears of people who got their picks denied.
Yeah.
And then his house is heated by vitriol.
Yeah, it's all just he just
Who is that guy, Plum, who you denied his story and he basically sent you a bunch of spam saying you should kill yourself?
Well, yeah, I denied one story and a guy sent me 19 private messages telling me that I should kill myself and that I'm a waste of space. So, you know, yay, Finfic!
Yes! Why did you take this job on again?
See, here's the thing.
For all.
Like, the story approval side of story approving is actually fine. Like, all the time I share snippets from stories that are absolutely god-awful, but at the end of the day, I'm actually laughing. Like, it's pretty funny a lot of the time.
It's like, yes, this is terrible, but it's still kind of funny.
Yeah, but there's also the fact that I also get to discover really cool stories like synthetic, bottled sunshine or something like that, which is a story about Celestia being like kept as a prisoner by the Flim and Flam brothers and forced to like raise and stuff like that. And you get really interesting stories, and I get to read them before anyone else, which is awesome. I also get to deny really bad stories, which is hilarious. But the problem with it is the users on Finfic, because the people who write the really bad stories that get denied are generally the kind of users who will send you 20 death threats as a result. Oh, okay. Finfic, please. Please.
Big on the entitlement complex.
Yeah, I mean, you've written a story about a werewolf called Sunset Shimmer, but aside from her name, this is literally just like Jekyll and Hyde, with the name Sunset Shimmer stuck in a few times. Also, she's got more teeth. That's about it. You know,
that sounds like bait to me.
I mean, so much of what gets submitted would sound like bait to UC², but almost none of it is. I got a story a few weeks ago. It was called "I Dream of Memes." It was about Shrek and John Cena in Equestria.
Why?
That got approved.
It wasn't a displaced fic, was it?
I don't think it was displaced.
Do people still do? God, this is like a flipping. It's like an old like. Oh man, do people still do that thing? But no, like do people still do you know, when it's I was cosplaying as such and such, and then I got transported to Equestria, but I had his powers.
Wait. Since you've gone, it's evolved. It is no longer the League of Humans acting villainously. It is now called Displaced, where there's a guy who has magic powers and he travels between universes and goes to conventions and sends people into Equestria.
There is actually, now that you mention that, there's currently a displaced fic in the feature box right now.
I'm assuming there is.
Is it a universe with a capital U?
It is an actual, honest-to-God, organized universe that all these people participate in.
Well, see,
it's big enough that it's had a schism.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Displaced is there's a Displaced group with however many thousand people in it, because, you know... Yeah. But the Displaced group is trying to make a capital U universe out of Displaced and sort of trying to get people to work together to do this thing. But the people who write this kind of story, they don't give a shit about that. They want to write about them being fucking Mark Mears, Commander Shepard in Equestria, and also having the powers of Jesus. They don't care about this capital U universe.
Yeah, they
just
want
one in
to
the feature box at the moment.
they're
one in the
trying
feature box at the moment, guys, is about Bahamut actually. The human in Equestria is Bahamut.
Mm-hmm. I remember someone
A
cosplayed
human
as
who turned into the dragon Bahamut, who acts kind of like Spike.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember one story which was, I think it was Agni, like the Hindu god of volcanoes.
Yeah.
But it was a dude who was dressed like cosplaying as like a Smite character.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't get it. Okay, I don't get it. I don't get it. You're what?
Like, for us, Displaced combines the worst of self-insert in Equestria and crossovers in Equestria, where it's like the character is unrelatable because it's just a dude.
Yeah.
Go. And it combines the worst of crossovers because it's got things that don't seem to fit into the universe, like you're the Hindu god of fire in Equestria, because of course you are.
Because why the hell?
Yeah, because why the hell not? But for the people who are writing it, it's them being dumb and not caring about anything, and yeah, I can shoot fireballs because I'm a fucking god of volcanoes, and them being dumb in Equestria. It's...
Oh, wow.
So the fact they're trying to make it an official U universe is kind of like, oh precious, that's adorable. But unfortunately, it's not going to friggin' happen.
Yeah, that's the schism that Arch was talking about. Like, there was a guy who was trying to herd cats and make this universe a thing, and other people were like, actually, you're not a very good writer, and your ideas for the universe are actually kind of terrible. Let's not. And now they're schismed, and now there's two different Displaced groups in the new groups, or the popular groups group, I think.
Do they have the drama tag?
Drama, sci-fi, thriller, tragedy. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, sci-fi tragedy.
Oh god, the tag spam.
In the
Someone make a second-person Displaced big.
Second.
I'm going to write one now and send it to
no.
Paul and see how quickly he shrivels up.
No.
I always have a soft spot. I do have a soft spot for capital U universes, though. Mainly the ones, stuff like, when people write fics based on other people's universe, people write fics based on past sins and stuff. Like, I really do have a soft spot.
A bunch of people wrote like Heartflank and Sweet stuff for
that
you.
That is literally the happiest I've ever been on the internet.
when someone else approached you and went, "Can I please play in your universe?"
Yeah, I think it was like Super. Was it? Who did it first? Was it? It was either Reginald Stevens or Super Sheep 64. I can't remember who. But yeah, one of them was just like, "Oh, can I write a story?" And I was like, "Yes." Because it was just nice.
Someone tried to write something in my my Break the Cycle verse, except they wanted to make it about zombies for some reason, and basically their first half of their fic was just the first half of my fic blatantly plagiarized.
Oh dear.
Like copy-pasted. And then it started going slightly divergently into their own thing, but I was like yeah, man. If you...
yeah, but
no. C-Squared's been so silent is apparently he couldn't hear us, so he's trying to fix the technical issues. Just as a heads up for anyone who's wondering why he just disappeared and reappeared.
Yeah, his general state of being is computer issues. Like, that's his state of existence.
Yeah.
I'd just like to point out.
What was it? He went without a laptop for like 9 months or something.
Yeah, a laptop for it was more than 9 months. Jesus fucking Christ.
It was a long time. It was too long.
Far too long.
Ridiculous.
Would have gone bad if he had that.
I go crazy if I'm not within 100 feet of a computer.
Yeah, pretty good.
I'm barely ever away, like 10 feet away from my computer.
Well,
if I didn't have my smartphone, I think I'd just die at this point. Like, if my smartphone ran out of battery while I was at work, I'd just sort of like collapse and cry. Oh.
There is actually, I was thinking about a thing to do with the Displaced universe. There was actually one story that I read which was effectively taking the mickey about it, and it was a guy just wearing a white shirt got sent to a chair, and he was just building a railroad just because he felt like building a railroad. And the characters are all asking him, like, well, what are your powers? Why are you here? What are you doing? And what are your plans? And he's just like, I'm just a guy in jeans and that's what it was called. It was called Jeans and a T-shirt. And that's it. It's just a regular dude in jeans and a T-shirt. He didn't have any special powers. And yeah, it was a pretty good dig at the universe as a whole.
Yeah, cool. Like he's a dude who's transported to Equestria with all of the powers and abilities of a dude.
With jeans and a T-shirt.
Yeah.
My favorite superhero has to be Man, bitten by a radioactive man.
Yeah.
No, it's all about the tech. He will always be the best.
Dude, Roasted was fantastic. I love that guy.
It's all about Skeleton Man for me.
Archie's cat whispering, I see.
Muscle Man, Nerve Man,
which part?
Fiber optic cable man. I don't know.
That's called Google Fiber.
Yeah. They may as well be superheroes.
C squared is dying. Rip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, this is the
no.
Oh no.
this is the thing.
Rip
Like
C squared.
pony, like superheroes and stuff are such a ripe area for parody. Though that's the thing. Like, because you can have so much. I mean, superhero stories themselves, like the actual comics and stuff, do it all the time. It's such an easy format to play with.
Yeah.
But you just, I don't know, you don't see it that much. You don't see that done that much in. I guess because it's quite a visual kind of thing as well. It's a very visual sort of
Yeah,
Be somebody that sort of comes across well.
aesthetic. So yeah, like not many people like. I mean, when I was writing Half-Flank and Sweets, like like 2 stories in, I was like, I really shouldn't have decided to write a story about things that need to look cool. But you don't see it around much, and the only time we ever really get it, so far as when I was paying attention to Pony, was sort of stuff, was like, oh, there's a superhero and he's here. It was just the guy. Yeah.
You do have the Mistress Matterhorn and all the Power Pony stuff that sort of emerged from, like, what was it, season 4?
Oh, that's true. That was 4, wasn't it? Season 4?
I think it was season 4.
Yes,
Yeah,
because it was
Power Pony season 4.
Yes, because it was good.
It was a very odd dark.
I know FlashGen is currently working on writing a sort of Power Ponies inspired sort of thing, but taking it in a more like modern superhero direction, so it's a bit more dark.
Oh,
I was gonna say super.
Oh, so it's dark sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
Kind of. Drama time.
Drama. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who did do a good one. It was Present Perfect with Elements of Awesomery.
Oh my god,
yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah, I think
Started
he's
working
still
on that
working on
again.
that, but he's really dragging his heels on it.
I love that
He's
shit.
dragging his heels on
So goddamn busy, Stevie. Leave him alone.
No, dude, he's
Yeah, I
dragging
know.
his heels
I
because
understand.
PP.
I know, Ferret.
But yeah, like the second I stopped paying attention to Pony in general was when I started seeing PP and Skype constantly saying, "Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." Like that guy never stops. Has he stopped in the past 2 years?
I'm
No,
at the moment he's slowed down a bit, but that's...
Yeah, he's slowed down, but that's just because real life has just completely shanked him.
Yeah.
Not only
That's
that,
harsh.
not only that, because one of his big review projects at the moment is Project Horizons.
Project Horizons.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Oh
He's been
god.
doing
Yeah.
a lot of. He's really gotten into reviewing, so he's been doing a lot of that.
He's
Well,
been
see,
doing a lot.
he wrote a blog post. He wrote a blog post praising what he'd read of Project Horizons so far, and I couldn't help but notice that Anna said as much in the comments that he'd stopped right before it got really batshit, and
Yeah.
since
And that's
then
what he
has
said. Is he says
essentially-
everyone tells me it gets terrible, and I'm so scared to keep reading because I love everything I've read. I don't want it to get bad.
Dude,
Has Project
he sent
has
me at
Project-
least 3 messages saying, "God, why? Why?" It's beautiful.
Has Project Horizon? Sorry, this is becoming the Arcanum catches up with Pony show. Sorry.
Project Horizons is finished.
Oh my god, I never thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Project Horizons is
He
finished.
was excited when it finally finished.
it's like 1.7 or 1.8 million words.
I'm pretty sure he didn't feel the sky collapse. Like,
Yes,
oh my
Project
god.
Horizons is finished, and it has a sequel.
Oh
The sequel
my
that
god.
nobody pays attention to.
Yeah, the
But,
sequel just
it's
died.
the thought that counts.
Well,
Yeah.
what? Oh, I didn't even know it had a sequel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
there
the
you
point.
go. I didn't either. But there are reasons for that.
One more day he's going to get to
Not
this
my
part of the. He's going to get to this part of the recording, and he's just going to start shaking his head and tutting.
Oh,
We love
dear.
Kadini, even though we don't understand your love of Project Horizons, and I don't think we ever will.
Well, no, I understand it
Somebody
perfectly.
loves it. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Everybody's got that one, like, everybody's got that story that they like where they're like, it's not strictly, possibly, maybe good,
I
but
bet everyone can name the one
I love
that's
it.
for me.
What was that?
I said I bet everyone could name the one that is for me, well, except you because you don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, so I don't know anything at the moment. Yeah, sorry. dude.
Okay,
I'm probably the only person in this whole stream who has not ever actually touched on any Fallout Equestria material.
Fallout Equestria, the story itself is flawed, but overall I thought was pretty okay.
It's a fun story. I read it in 3 days. Like, I
But, like,
blitzed of
I
it.
read a
So,
couple
I
of
don't pay attention to the art. I haven't read the first story. I
Got
haven't
me.
read any side stories.
Well,
Like, I
Project
don't.
Horizons I'd best describe as Fable 2-ish, because Fable 2 is a game that was Fable 1 but more of everything. So there was more of the good stuff but also more of the bad stuff.
Oh, well,
So
that's
if you notice like problems in Fallout Equestria, they're really gonna annoy you in Project Horizons, you know. But
And the worst part is that the story tries to play all these problems completely straight.
yeah. I mean, I remember Jake the Army guy was contemplating reading Project Horizons at one point, and I just casually mentioned to him, you do know that Fluttershy and this OC called Golden Blood, who is Blue Blood's cousin and or son, I'm not sure which, had a kid and they named it Psycho Shy.
Psycho Sean.
Okay.
And he just like,
And
okay,
he just kind of backs away slowly.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm out.
Peace, guys. It's been great.
What the hell?
Well, see, it's funny. It's funny that you say that actually about playing things straight, because again, that's something that you don't see very often. Or I think there's a lot of how do I put it? In the because we get a lot of parodies, you know, in fanfic. Like there's a lot of parodies, but a lot of them miss a very important point of parody, which is playing yourself straight. Is the thing because
Yeah, they spend too much time sort of winking and nodding at the
yeah,
audience.
exactly. There's a lot of parody that sort of that sort of goes like, oh hey, this, oh but he's got a wacky name, yuck yuck yuck, and then like grins at the camera. You know,
it's the fiction equivalent of a TV show that spends too long with the canned laughter.
Yeah, well, it's the Big Bang Theory.
Oh god.
But oh my god,
It was good once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
Maybe it's first episode.
But yeah, so I think it's interesting that like it kind of comes down to what I always remember about fanfic is how many stories I would read, because again they are obviously Sturgeon's law, you know, and the problem the problem with any fan fiction site is that, you know, a lot of what you read is going to be dross. But like that's the thing, like the majority, like there was so many stories that I read that had perfectly acceptable writing, like perfectly good writing, but just kind of missed the point. They just didn't quite get how their chosen genre sort of works. And you know, I mean, I'm 100% against like, all of these flipping writing guides, and you know, like, oh, here's how you should do it. And I mean, how excessively rules driven it was. You know, everyone would always like. How many review sites and stuff were always just going like, oh well, you know, this story used a semicolon here when strictly it's a blah, blah, blah. And you were like, I don't give a shit, it's a funny
I like how you're
story.
very tastefully not mentioning Equestria That's all I could think was just, oh yeah, the bad old days of EQD.
Look, I got marsed once or twice for some very picky errors, and I'm just a bit salty about it retrospectively. But no, it was fine.
Really bad for a while there.
Yeah, Equestria Daily had a bad patch. I know. I mean, I know.
To manage the pre-readers, and it's doing a hell of a lot better now, because if somebody pulls that crap, you tell me, and then I beat someone.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Well, this was the thing. Like, I knew a lot of the pre-readers. So like, so like, if that happened, a lot of the time, I'd just be like, dude, what? But I also could never guess who it was, though. I was really bad at guessing who it was because I didn't know any of the secret names.
Actually, a lot of them have started using just their real names now. There aren't too many like semi-anonymous or full anonymous pre-readers anymore. Most of them just come out and go, yeah, this is who I am.
Yeah, well, because it felt very... Another thing I feel like is that what I've seen of fanfic, or just, I don't know, Pony in general, is that it feels a lot less formal. There was a lot of, like, because in the early days there was this whole kind of, like, culture of celebrity and of, like, and this, like, like, oh, you have to be good, you have to, like, oh, this is what good is, even though it wasn't really what good was. And it was all very formal and strict, and if you didn't conform, it was like, well, no, that's it, down, back into the crowd.
Get into the ovens.
Yeah, get back in the crowd, you pathetic mass. And whereas now it feels a bit looser.
Oh God, yeah.
There's not so much a strict like gatekeeper of quality sort of thing.
No, because there can't be. The fandom's gotten so huge, you can't do that anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Even back in the day,
Well, we always used to we always used to make that joke, like we always used to make the joke, like getting onto Equestria Daily, there was like the difference between when it mattered and when it didn't. So, there was like a line at one point round about year 2 where it was just like, it's not really a thing anymore. It's cool. Yeah.
That didn't stop me being really desperate to get on there.
Oh, well, no, that's
no,
still really nice though.
Exactly,
it still feels good because you get because you get like, oh, loads of people are going to see it, and then like people see it and they're like, oh, they featured this story. That's neat. But yeah, it's just there was a time when it was like, Equestria Daily. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the thing. At the moment, now it's more like a sort of icing on the cake sort of.
I never really knew if I should have felt bad or not. I never got rejected from Equestria Daily, so I didn't really have.
I was completely ecstatic the first time I got my first story onto EQD, and I think by the time that happened, it was already in that sort of decline because it was like the start of December 2013 when my first story went up there.
Right.
And I didn't experience anywhere near as great a jump in views or ratings or anything as I was expecting based on like. I'd gone to other stories, referrals and stuff, and I'd been able to see like the huge jump in traffic that they'd had after being featured, and mine didn't get anywhere near that. So that was when I started to think, maybe the fandom's just getting too big. There's too many people, there's too many stories, and
yeah. When I started reading fanfiction, this was before FinFic even existed. I remember the day that FinFic was announced as a thing. I
remember the day.
I remember scoffing and thinking that it would die within 2 months.
See, like you guys have been in the fandom like 2 or even 3 years longer than me.
Yeah, and I remember this, and I remember the days when literally every story you could ever like really enjoy reading was. You found it on EQD. Nobody, all the stories were written in either Google Docs, DeviantArt text posts.
I remember all the DeviantArt stories.
Yeah. I used to do DA. I used to do every single time I did a chapter, I would upload it to DA, Equestria Daily, and FinFic.
Yeah. And the third one was like Pony Fiction Archive or something. It wasn't Pony Fiction Archive. It was something else similar to that name.
I know. The name of it, I just can't remember.
It's PFA.
What are we talking about?
Pony Fiction Vault?
Posted a story on
Pony Fiction Archive. It was Pony Fiction.
Yeah, it was Pony Fiction Archive.
It was RB-47's one.
Yeah.
No, that's
that was the Pony Fiction Vault.
Yeah.
The Vault?
No. He had the Vault, and then that was his. He had the Vault, which was like his blog where he reviewed really like good stories and stuff, and put them in the Vault forever. That was the thing. It was
and I always wanted to get on that. I never did.
Yeah, but he also had a. He did put me in the Vault, but it was the wrong story. I was really annoyed when he put that story in. I was like, no, not that
one. What story was it?
I think it was 5 Should Be Enough, and I was like, no, don't put that story in. I wanted
obviously it should have been Bearded Left 2, the rebearding.
And the site itself was the archive, wasn't it?
Yeah, he also had a fanfiction repository called Pony Fiction Archive, which I really wanted to support because he was a really cool guy.
Yeah,
he's a really cool guy, I'm sure. I'm sure he hasn't changed. I just haven't spoken to him in 2 years. So.
No, he's still around.
Yes.
Yeah. Alby Dash is still a super cool guy. But yeah, Pony Fiction Archive was the other site, so all stories were either there on DeviantArt text posts or in Google Docs. So the only real way to see any story at all was to wait for the Equestria Daily story posts.
Yeah.
When they were when you were wholly dependent on them featuring it.
Yeah, that's how I found Knick Knack and Short Skirts and Explosions and so many
there's
other
so many authors I follow now that I found from there. Connor Cogwork.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Connor.
I remember first reading, I Ain't Got No Accent. And being so happy when he'd uploaded it to FinFic.
What was his main story? Through a Mirror or something like that, where it was like Rule 63 sort of thing.
Oh, On a Cross and an Arrow.
On a Whisper. Yeah, On a Cross and Arrow, and the sequel was On a Whisper of Wind or something.
Something like that. And then Alex Braza had the other one with the 63rd rune.
Yeah, the 63rd
Those were the two big gender swap ones.
Yeah. And it was this relatively relatively small community because fan fiction wasn't really a thing, and then FimFic took off, and since then it has sort of exploded. And
Oh,
now
blown up.
EQD is no longer like the aggregator of all the like decent stories.
No.
It's sort of like a badge of honor for the few really well-written ones.
And that's what it's meant to be. It's
Yeah.
meant to be, you know, it's this nice little cherry. You get like a handful of extra views.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime there are people who are like, "Oh my God, I didn't get EQD, my life is over," it's just no, don't think of it.
Like when it started out, EQD is like when it actually not when it started out, when it actually started being controlled by like periods and stuff. It was basically Twilight's Library. That's what it was. It was a certified. This story isn't absolutely crap unless it's Spiders'.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
But Spiders isn't even absolutely crap. It's glorious.
Yeah, Spiders is great.
It has an appeal. I just have to interrupt for a second. Hi, Cap.
Oh, it's Captain Chrysalid. Was it Captain
Captain
Unstoppable?
Unstoppable.
Right, there are too many captains.
There are.
Yeah, there is Captain Unstoppable, who wishes us to mention, you know, his adorable story.
But yeah, it's interesting how EQD has evolved over the like few years that it's been around. Like like I remember at a point where I basically checked Equestria Daily multiple times daily. I don't anymore. I do check it every now and again for like film fiction updates and stuff. But I remember a point when like the music scene for the Brony community was so different to the way it is now. Like every single music post that I see, I don't recognize 9 out of 10 names. And yet, back in the day, I remember like 9 out of 10 names were The Living Tombstone, Mac the Microphone, Odyssey Eurobeat,
Sim Gratina,
Toaster.
Jackal App.
Vaguely worrying
Oh,
that
I
all
miss
of the
Jackal App.
I miss Jackal App too. Yeah.
vaguely worrying that all of the musicians that I really like turned out to be completely nuts and.
That was happening. That was happening in Book, wasn't it, Plum? There was remember there was that whole thing about the CD or something. And it was all going down.
I don't remember that. What was that about?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. There was. I think it was like sort of like all the musicians had like got together and made a CD or something. But then it was like it was all going down about pricing or something.
The Bronies for Good organization. They do an annual CD. And their first one was Seeds of Kindness, and then they had a beautiful
No, this was a Book thing because that one actually got pulled off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I mean, there was Balloon Party and.
The point is, the one they're talking about didn't happen.
Yeah.
Supposed to, but everybody was insane.
Yeah, because I was because I didn't really catch much of it, but like all I saw was like I was sitting in the guest room and like hearing like blah, 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 you know, about the whole thing. Yeah. So, but I just know I don't know, man. But yeah, it was.
I remember Balloon
music
Party.
scene is definitely the music scene has definitely changed.
And then it turned out like oh god, 8 Seed and stuff was absolutely bonkers, and all the other were bonkers. And Jackal App and Mike the Microphone split up, but it wasn't like a feud or anything. They just agreed to be friends, and all of this sort of drama happened. And it's just okay, well then. Well then, I'll continue watching Wooden Toaster because he's pretty chill.
Yeah.
I always love Fuzogs. Fuzogs makes me happy.
Fuzogs was good.
Fuzogs is super good.
Rainbow, what is it? Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy go for a flight or something like that. I can't remember. Where it's like do 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 do. Oh my god, that song is so good.
Fuzogs is just really good in general. Like I generally don't like that style of music, but something about Fuzogs just sort of clicks with my brain.
Yeah, something appeals.
What's it called? Happy Core or something ridiculous?
Something like that.
I love that name.
My favorite is still the joke that, you know, nobody in music actually knows what the music genres are. They just make something up and hope it sounds plausible.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, it's a garage grunge punk.
No, actually, it's happy hardcore.
Garage core.
Viking axe metal.
I might be the odd one out here, but I don't really know very many of the old names. So I got into the music scene in mid 2013. So the first sort of names that I found were actually when there was more of a focus on metal than electronics. So I got into L Train and Chris Wara and Secret Metal and
Metal Bernie.
Isambov epically or whatever his name, Prince whatever. I remember him.
Yeah, Prince whatever. I've got a couple of his albums.
He's going to Rock this year, so that should be interesting.
Acoustic Bernie.
I just like my.
I enjoyed Acoustic Bronies in an awful lot of stuff. I just never could like Mando Bronies stuff particularly.
I actually like a lot of Mando stuff.
And
I
then
know
I
it's sort
found
of
out that he was
popular to be
actually...
like, no, Mando sucks these days, but I actually liked a lot of his stuff. I didn't love all of it, but there were quite a few I really enjoyed.
I never really particularly enjoyed his stories, and then I found out that he was actually kind of a dick because a friend of mine. No, but like a friend of mine was one of the like security people at Buck a couple of years ago,
right.
and Mando Pony was there, and Mando Pony was just the most colossal dick, like showing up late and sort of harassing people and saying, "Oh, I'm late because it's your fault." Like, well, no, fuck off. No.
Oh, I always hate that.
Yeah. Ah, well. But Acoustic Bray, I completely respect them. They had like a live performance of I'll Fly Higher, which they did sort of like in a park in London, which is super chill. Replacer is fantastic for listening to when you want to like chill out. I completely recommend his Bird Horse EP. With songs like
Bird Horse EP, yeah, that's really
Bird
good.
Horse EP. That's really good for just relaxing too. Replace is fantastic.
Another good artist that a lot of people I don't think she sort of got around a lot with like and made a lot of collabs with a lot of artists as well, but then she started making her own stuff and got a little bit more popular even on her own right, and that was Feather.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you guys know that much about Feather or not, but she was everywhere for a long time.
Yeah, she's done vocals on a couple of songs that I enjoyed.
I think I missed Feather.
Yeah, I never really kept up with the music scene all that much.
I kept up with it a lot in the really early days, but
in the early days I really followed it. Like that was how I learned about like one of my favorite artists. I've still got a bunch of their stuff. Is Not a Clever Pony.
Yes.
Oh, Not a Clever Pony. Yeah,
beautiful thing.
Really good.
Not a Clever Pony's the new Lunar Republic song I've still got on my iPod.
I've still got a bunch of their songs in my MP3 player.
They did Sunshine and Celery Stalks. Who did that?
Apple Skytree.
Yeah.
No.
Was it?
I don't think that was the right name.
Or is that Pinkie Pie Swear?
Pinkie Pie Swear. Yes.
Yeah, it's Pinkie Pie Swear.
Oh,
It's called Matt R now.
Oh god, I'm feeling old now.
Oh, Pinkie Pie Swear. Pinkie Pie Swear was exactly 50-50.
Join the club, Plum.
Yeah,
Now,
I love almost everything
the
they
weird thing
do.
is that I feel old for knowing who Pinkie Pie Swear is, but at the same time I feel young for not ever having listened to anything by Pinkie Pie.
Dude, Pinkie Pie Swear
you
was
should. Pinkie Pie Swear's really good.
I'm gonna send you a link to
You need to find one of his songs right now.
I'm gonna post a link in the Seattle Dingles private chat.
Is Sim Gratina still making pony music? Because everything Sim Gratina does is solid gold.
He's making a mix of pony music and like generic other stuff. Like I remember he made like a League of Legends song a little while ago.
Sim Gratina is. I love the dismissive way in which you said a League of Legends song.
It's not a Mech Warrior song. I don't care.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, like Sim Gratina, I will freely admit, he's always been a bit hit and miss. Like some of his stuff, I will happily jam out to for ages, but some of the stuff I'll listen to it once and go and just leave it. So I don't know.
You know the ones I really like are the one-hit wonders. The ones who they come up with this one amazing track and then you never hear from them again. Like this guy Filio, who did The Way She Flies.
I know Filio, yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant song.
That's
He's
a
like,
really
he's
good
going to
song.
do all this great stuff. He's disappeared off the internet entirely. No idea where he's gone.
Yeah. There was also oh god, who was it?
I love that one. I listen to it all the time.
He's probably ashamed. Made
Yeah,
a pony song, got really popular, started vomiting uncontrollably and disgusted himself. had to turn off the computer, burn it.
It's like Alex S, like how he used to be Alex S and now he's like Andromedus, and now he makes remixes of things like
Alex S.
Rick and Morty even.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So he's doing his own thing off on one side now. Like he's no longer a pony musician, and he hates you if you call him that. So. Oh dear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got to break. This is the thing. It's like this is the thing is that pony people tend to. Well, I always use the phrase "cult of celebrity," but yeah, like pony people really do tend to like put people on pedestals and be like, there's a lot of like following certain people, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of like, if you do something good, and if you did something good at a certain time, then people sort of like everybody knows your name,
that's
and they
the
all,
big kicker, isn't it?
and I haven't seen that as much in other kind of, I hate the word fandoms, but group, like
I think
other
it was,
hobbies.
I think it was mainly because there was a point in the Brony community where it was just like, holy shit, people are making things for a My Little Pony TV show.
Well,
you still had that sort of shock factor lingering around for like a year and a half or something, and then more and more people started doing it, and it became more expected.
It lingered around for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and during that time the fandom grew exponentially. So there was a sweet spot about a year to a year and a half after the Brony community became a thing, where you had massive audiences and everyone was amazed at the fact that there was pony stuff.
Yeah, everyone was still, everyone was still surprised.
Living Tombstone became super popular, and Microphone and Odyssey Eurobeat gained his fandom because of the Discord remix that Living Tombstone did. And this was the same time as Past Sins came around, and My Little Dashi, and all that sort of thing happened around the same time, where there was
Dangerous Business was wrapping up around then as well.
And for like Equestria and all that sort of stuff happened around the same time, where the fandom was new enough to be sort of what, and yet big enough to cause a cult following. So
there was also season 2. It was right at the height of season 2, which is the best season. No one can ever argue that.
Season 2,
best season by a million miles. No one can ever argue that fact. But yeah, so it was in a really good time for the show as well. So everyone was like super psyched about ponies, and everyone was super psyched about being part of ponies. And there was that. I definitely agree that there was that sweet spot, because I hit that sweet spot. I came in like I came in round about like just as like it's like just as the last kind of like. Well, basically, like, I was near the end of what you would now call the old guard, it was...
Or the golden age, even.
Like, the golden age. God, no, don't
just to make you all sound a little bit older.
Don't call it the golden age. don't dignify it that much. But yeah, so it was definitely, this is why I found ponies so weird for a lot of the time. It was just like, people just care so much.
This is around the same time, like, you had Night Party coming out, and you had Seeds of Kindness from, like, and so much stuff got done during this brief, like, half a year period. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, because sorry.
No, go on, sorry.
I was just going to say that I've seen, I've been in, I'm interested in a lot of other things that have some quite, fanatical devotees, but in the West, I've just never quite... I don't know. I guess this is going to sound terrible, but I've never quite seen a Western fandom go full otaku.
No, I can understand what you mean.
Like until ponies, like like I've like even in anime, like even Western anime fans, like I've like there are some I've seen some really bad, nice little racist pronunciation of Naruto there. Good job. But yeah, you see it, but you don't. I don't know. It was so concentrated in ponies because it all just happened so fast. So it was just like, oh my god, here's a million people getting really freakishly psyched about one.
It's not even like BronyCon.
I mean strongly.
It sort of makes me wish I'd joined a year and a half earlier than I did.
BronyCon happened 3 times in 2012.
God, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, there were 3 BronyCons in 2012.
Yeah, because wasn't that the one where like they had 2 of the normal one and then they also did the other one?
Yeah.
Like they added the other venue or something like, or the other place that they do it.
It was also in New York and in other places, and there was it was also when Purple Tinker was involved in it, so your mileage may vary, but
just to sort of underline that burst of when people realized the show was good and they were getting excited about it. January 7, 2012, attendance at BronyCon was 850. June 30th of the same year was 4,000.
Wow!
Wow! Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think here in Australia last year at PonyCon AU 2015, that was held in on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, I think we managed about 850, but that's 2015 in Australia.
I remember at BronyCon 2015, we joked that the group that all turned up to hung around on the Sunday night in was it Fang's apartment, in the hotel. Ferret and Arch were there, and we joked that we were the guys who pushed it over 11,000 people because there were 11,006 attendees.
Yes.
Wow.
We were the extras. We're the ones who bumped it over the mark.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are just making me want to come over to America even more now, hey?
Dude,
you will have to.
It's fantastic, yeah.
I have always wanted to
fun.
get to BronyCon.
Yeah.
I have wanted.
Come join us in Buck this year.
Getting there, hey?
Yeah, come join us in Buck this year and GalaCon potentially, because GalaCon might be really interesting.
Right. Oh man, Buck. I just don't know. How long did we spend? How much time did we spend just sitting on the steps?
Well, sitting on the steps eating sandwiches, or going to Weatherspoons and having a beer and a burger.
We ate a whole lot of sandwiches that convention.
We ate a whole lot of sandwiches.
No, it's no. Why did I say the Arndale Centre? It's in the middle of Manchester. It's at the Trafford Centre over near Old Trafford.
The Trafford Centre? Really?
Yeah.
As in
That's
the
where they're having it this
shopping?
year.
But it's a shopping centre.
It has a huge conference centre built into it as well.
Oh. Well, there you go.
There
you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
I love the Trafford Centre.
Yeah. That's where Buck is this year. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's got Five Guys, burgers and fries.
It does indeed.
When is
it? It's in mid-April, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Well, maybe I'll show up then.
The 9th
Oh no.
to the 10th.
9th to the 10th.
I'm already taken.
No, cancel whatever it is, cancel it and go.
Oh man.
I've heard pretty good things about Five Guys. It might be a reason to go just by itself.
I've been to Five Guys once, and I must say the burger was surprisingly bland.
Oh, it's great.
Really?
No, it's because it's all in the sauces. If you get
that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. The burger itself is fairly plain, and the excitement about Five Guys comes from the fact that you can have basically whatever you want on the burger, and B, the chips are pretty good. The chips are pretty decent chips.
They give you free peanuts.
Yeah, they do.
They do give you fruit peanuts.
I went into the first time I went into a Five Guys, it was they've got one open just down near the cinema near where I live. And I went in there and there's these sacks of potatoes everywhere, and there's just this big bucket full of peanuts, and it's like, are they free?
Yeah.
Stuffing myself with peanuts. I couldn't eat the burger.
Australia doesn't actually have Five Guys yet. I don't know if we're getting it in the near future or not, but we don't have it as yet.
We have 3 in the entire country, basically. There's one in Manchester, one in London, and there's one in Leeds, for God knows what reason.
There's one in Nottingham, so
there's one in Ashton and one over the Trafford Centre. There's another one in the centre of Manchester. There's more.
Yeah, there's a handful of Five Guys in the UK. They're sprouting up, yeah.
Like mushrooms or peanuts.
Slightly changing the subject back. How many attendees does BronyCon get now?
BronyCon itself last year was 11,000. So.
11,000.
So it has cracked and maintained 5 figures.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And they're expecting a similar amount this year.
Right.
Okay.
It'll be 11,004.
I really hate for BronyCon to go under because they overestimated the amount of tickets that they were going to sell. Because that was the reason why Sydney 2014 failed. They anticipated about 1,000 people and budgeted for it and spent all the money that they had on this convention, and instead of getting about 1,000 ticket sales, they ended up getting between 400 or 500 ticket sales. So they actually went broke. Had to file for bankruptcy, and people didn't even get most of their money back.
Yeah, you have to
So we ended up having this little con called Salvage Con, which was put on by a lot of the people.
That's awful.
And Salvage Con was actually really fun, considering it was made on the tightest of budgets.
You had a massive ball pit. That's what you did.
We had an Ashley ball pit. Ashley Ball was there, and we had a ball pit, and she got in the ball pit, and she even signed a couple of the balls in the ball pit for the charity auction.
Oh no, that's brilliant.
It's funny though, just how different the numbers are in different countries as well, because we've got we've got obviously the big the MCM expos and stuff for anime and stuff, but if you look at if you're not looking at the big commercial conventions, like the smaller social ones, I think the biggest anime convention that isn't a big official expo is 1,500 people. We would never get 10,000 people for one subject. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's so mad hearing these American numbers. You know, where it's just like, oh yeah, this is a comparatively tiny con, and it's like 10 times the size of anything you'll ever scrape together.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine?
We
I just want this is mainly for Arc and Arch. Can you imagine 11,000 people in Buck 2014?
Wow.
Well,
Like the convention center there.
we did have a comparison just down the street.
Uh-huh.
Pride was on.
Oh yeah, Pride was on. Yeah.
Pride was on.
Oh, I was so glad. I really liked it. It was so great that Pride was on. It made the whole city really colourful. It was like as soon as we left, because you would leave, you would leave the con, you know, and you'd be like, okay, I've been at PonyCon all day. That's quite nice, you know. And then you'd walk out, and it would just be parties everywhere. It was great.
Yeah. And all these incredibly flamboyant and very huggy people.
That was fantastic.
And there were whistles going everywhere.
So, guys, if you cosplayed as a pony, walk down PonyCon out into the streets, you just blend in with everyone. It wouldn't even matter.
Well, this is the thing. All of the
Bon has currently disconnected Archer's everything.
Nice.
Goddamn Pogo Cat. But yeah, like the Manchester Gay Pride Parade was fantastic, both because it brought so much colour and energy to everything, but also because it allows us to all say we all met 90 during the Gay Pride Parade in Manchester.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful. Oh, dear me. We should probably be wrapping up. We've actually gone a bit over time, so.
Yeah.
With the final screen being Arch trying to come back after his cat just sort of sabotaged everything.
Let Judy Bon put her away for the night, I guess, and he's back with us.
Arch, you've just joined us in time to say goodbye.
Yeah, sorry about that. The cat.
Excellent. All right.
Beautiful.
She's graduating.